Greetings, Red Bull community. This is Connor Buss from UNC Wilmington, and I'm going to show you a couple steps on how to sift through Red Bull Content Pool, how to sign up, how to pull content from there so that you can ultimately distribute it across your campus or just for your own personal viewing. So we're going to hop right into it now. Start by opening up a web browser. I'm going to go ahead and use Firefox because I like Firefox. First, we're going to go to redbullcontentpool.com. So enter that in your web browser. Go. And here's the lovely page that we get. Red Bull Content Pool, etc., etc., etc. As you can see, there's already a bunch of tabs here for different, types of content you can get that's Media House related. However, you can't access that content until you have a profile. So first thing you're going to want to do, and it's always good to check with your FMS and your FMM before you do this to make sure that they'll be able to authorize you and get you set up in here. But when you get to the website, you're going to want to sign in if you have your stuff already. If you don't, then you're going to have to go to register. So to register, you're going to have to go through some of these different steps. You put in your name, you put in your last name, email, company that you're with, etc., etc., etc. All this kinds of stuff, and then it should be able to set you up with an account pretty quickly. Now, there might be some sort of confirmation that needs to go through from your FMS or your FMM, but that's just a communication that you'll have to have with them after you've registered. So let's just go ahead and say I've already registered. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my username, which is my email address, and the password I used. I'm just going to go ahead and check to stay signed in so I don't have to keep doing this over and over. I do not want to remember my password. Alright, so now that I'm signed in, we are fully into the Red Bull Media House Content Pool arsenal of stuff. From here, you're going to want to figure out what content you want to pull from here. So for me personally, I am always interested in seeing video content. That's the stuff that plays on the UNCW television station. It's all video content. So if I was ever going to come on here, I would most likely go to videos. So the way to get all the videos that Red Bull Content Pool has to offer is to sort the media by type. So you can see the options here. You can sort it by all. You can sort it by videos, sort it by photos, or sort it by stories. Or if you have a particular keyword or any sort of video that you're looking for, then you can search it in the search box. Let's filter the media by videos. So now we have only videos that Red Bull Content Pool has on here. So if you look on the side tab right here, we have 8,466 videos. Now I think we can all agree that's a pretty decent amount of content. So now it's up to you guys to sift through all this and figure out what you want to pull off. And what's going to help here is the filter criteria on the left side. So let's say that we want stuff that is, well, let's say we want stuff that's probably going to be in English. Let's go ahead and just narrow down our criteria to the United States. Now we have content that has been either produced in the United States or distributed in the United States or something along the lines of being here in the US, so it's most likely going to be in English. Now, if people overseas are watching this and, then you go a different route. Maybe you want stuff that's in Europe and you want to find stuff that's in Austrian or etc. Then you can do that there. But for right now, we're just going to go ahead and say United States. So then we can also narrow it by source. And you can look on here and it'll show you all the different sources that you can find on. So we have X Fighters, Cliff Diving, Summer X Games, Chariot Race, BC1, qualifiers. There's a lot of different sources that you can look for. Also, we had different people. Adam Arrington, JD Webb, Joey Brzezinski are the top 3 on here right now. Topic, length of the video, the production date, file size, etc. There's a lot of different criteria that you can use, so I would definitely recommend using that to narrow your search a lot more. So let's say we found a video that we really, really like and we want to pull off. Let's do this King of the Rock teaser. Let's go ahead and preview it real quick. To preview, just select that box and you're going to get this. So we'll scrub through it real quick to kind of see what it looks like. So after we've gone through it maybe a little bit, decided that that's something that we actually want to have, then the next step is to download it. So when you go to this little download key right here, click it once, and it's going to bring up this little drop box with 4 different options. Your options are HDPAL, HDNTSC, SDPAL, and SDNTSC. HDPAL and SDPAL are standards for Europe. That's all set for European television standards. So if you're in Europe, you're going to want to use the PAL system. If you're in America or somewhere in North America, then you're going to want to use the NTSC system. Let's just say for now, because I know that I want to download the HD version, let's choose the HD version. So we're going to do this one more time. Download HD NTSC. So when we select that, then we're going to get this little download message right here, and it's going to say thank you, click here if your download does not start automatically. So now Firefox is going to give me this message saying, listen, you're choosing to open this file from the internet. What do you want to do with it? Well, we want to save it to our hard drive, obviously. So we'll say save file, okay. And now what it's going to do is, once this file is done downloading, it's going to save it to my downloads folder. Once you start your download, it'll be downloading for a little bit, and when it's done, it will be saved in the downloads folder on your hard drive, wherever that might be. So for Mac users, we'll go ahead and go to our downloads folder, which is right here. And when it's done, it should be, if you organize it by date modified, it will be the very first video to come up. Alright, so let's say that you just downloaded a file and it was saved to your hard drive. So we're going to go in and actually find that file. So for most Mac users, as long as you haven't changed anything, you should be able to go to Finder, go to your downloads folder, wherever that is. Now if you can't find your downloads folder in your Finder, you can always go up here to the spotlight in the top right hand corner and type in downloads. What that should do is that should bring up your downloads folder. So we'll click on that, and the downloads folder is already up, and we're going to find some content that we just loaded. So the best way to find out the most recent thing you loaded is to organize all your files by date modified. So I'm going to go ahead and do date modified, and that brings the most recent file to the top. With that being said, when you download these files, they are not going to be named. They're going to have these codes attached to them. I mean, these are pretty much labels that get put on every single video. What you're going to want to do to reference them easier and to know what they are, so you don't have to keep opening them and scrubbing through them again to find out what they are, is to rename them. So, very simple. You're going to go into the file, and we're going to rename it something that is easy for you to reference whenever you go to find your files. So, for me, what I like to do is say Red Bull Content Pool, or you could also put Red Bull Media House, you could put Red Bull, you could put RB, whatever you want. Underscore, and then let's say whatever the title is. Let's just call it Toe to Toe. So now, whenever we go to look for Red Bull Content Pool files, hopefully they will be saved under these names, and we can easily pull them off, transfer them out to other folders, do whatever we need to do there. So now that we've downloaded our file, we don't need to have Content Pool open anymore. Let's go ahead and locate our file, put it somewhere on the desktop where we can always see it, and then go from there. So, go into our downloads folder, or wherever the folder was saved, and we have Red Bull Content Pool Toe to Toe. As you can see, it has the file type next to it, MP4. So what we're going to go ahead and do, drag that to our desktop. That way it's there. I'm going to open it up with QuickTime, or whatever media player you might have. We'll go full screen. We can watch it through. So once we have this out on the desktop, you can pretty much do whatever you need to do with it. You can distribute it out to campus media, you can show your friends, pretty much it's at your disposal.